So first we will understand what is a chemical reaction. So what is a chemical reaction, students? So a chemical change in which matter changes into a new substance or substances is called as a chemical reaction. So what happens in a chemical reaction? In a chemical reaction, a particular matter changes to a new substance. That means its property will be changes, and its old property will be lost and a new property will be formed. Though then we will call it as a new substance. Okay. Now we will see that how we can identify whether a chemical reaction has occurred or not. For that, we need to understand the characteristics of chemical reaction. So what are the characteristics? So the first characteristic is change of color. So in most of the reactions, in few reactions, the color changes. For example, if we heat mercuric oxide, then the red color mercuric oxide, so mercury oxide color is red. But when we heat this, it converts to silvery color mercury. How we can know that the reaction has completed? If we see that all the red color mercuric oxide has converted to silver color or silvery mercury, then we can say that the reaction has completed. So many other reactions are also there where color changes. Here we have taken only one example. Next characteristic is effervescence or evolution of a gas. So in few reactions, what happen? Gases evolve, okay, or which is also called as effervescence. So see here that in few reaction, what happens? Some gases are formed. You might have seen whenever you put some salt in thumbs up or Coca-Cola, bubbles comes out. Similarly, if we put zinc in hydrochloric acid, then we will see that hydrogen gas will form. So whenever we see any gas is forming, then also we can say that it is a characteristic of a chemical reaction. You might have seen that while cleaning the bathroom or toilet, when you pour the acid on the floor, and whenever the acid is poured on the floor, we see that bubbles comes out. So even that also is an example of chemical reaction. Next, we'll see the evolution of heat. Okay, so in few reaction, what happens? Heat is absorbed. So heat is absorbed means what? Heat will be produced. Okay, those reactions are called as exothermic reaction. So exothermic reaction means what? Where heat will be produced. And endothermic reaction means what? Where heat will be absorbed. So in endothermic reaction, what happens? Proceed with the absorption of heat. So remember that in a endothermic reaction, heat is absorbed, but in a exothermic reaction, heat is evolved. Evolved means it is produced. Okay, and whenever it is a exothermic reaction, heat energy is produced, then we use this symbol plus delta. This triangle sign is called as delta. And if heat energy is absorbed, then we called it as a minus delta. You can take an example. So when calcium oxide is reacted with water, it forms calcium hydroxide and it is a exothermic reaction. Okay, and when nitrogen and oxygen react, it is an endothermic reaction. It absorbs energy. So we give a minus delta sign here. So if the test tube, suppose we are doing any chemical reaction in a test tube, suppose this is a test tube and we have taken a chemical in this. And in this we have taken some chemical. And when you put some acid, suppose you have taken calcium oxide and you have given some water in this. Then after some time, what happens? The outside part will become hot. So by touching the test tube, we can know whether the heat is absorbed or not. Suppose the test tube become cool, then we can say that it is an endothermic reaction because the test tube has or the chemical has absorbed the heat. Understood? Okay. Next, let us see. So this is also one characteristic to know whether it is a reaction or not. Next, we'll see the next characteristic is formation of precipitate. Yes, in some reactions, what happens? Precipitates are formed. So what kind of precipitates are formed? Okay, precipitate means, what is precipitate? So it means formation of insoluble precipitate. So some solid particles which will not dissolve is called as precipitate. So in some reactions, what happens? Some insoluble particles will be seen which will settle down, and those are called as precipitate. For example, when silver nitrate react with hydrochloric acid, then it forms nitric acid and silver chloride. Now this silver chloride is a white color, milky white precipitate. So what is the color of silver chloride? It's a milky white precipitate. So by seeing the precipitation, we can say that the reaction has started. So formation of precipitation also one of the characteristic. So what are the characteristics, students? Let us recap the characteristic once. So the first characteristic is change of color. Second characteristic is evolution of gas or effervescence. Third one is absorption, and fourth one is formation of precipitate. Now let us see the next one. Now we'll see how many type of chemical reactions are there. So the first type of chemical reaction is called as direct combination reaction. So what is direct combination reaction? So direct combination reaction means where two substances or two reactants combine to form one product. So remember, two or more reactants combine to form a single product. So in the product side, always there will be one substance, but in the reactant side, it will be two or more than two. Then this type of reactions will be called as direct combination reaction. That means what? When A combines with B, it forms a new substance, that is AB. So AB is a single substance. So in the product side, always one substance will be there. So what is the definition? The definition says that reaction in which two or more elements or compounds combine to give one new compound is called as a direct combination reaction, or it is also known as synthesis reaction. The second type of reaction is decomposition reaction. So what is a decomposition reaction? In decomposition reaction, once what happens? Let us see the definition first. Reaction in which a chemical compound decomposes into two or more simpler substances. That means what? There will be two substances, one single substance will be there, and after the reaction, this substance will break into two or more substances. Then this type of reactions will be called as decomposition reaction. Next is displacement reaction. Here some example is given of combination reaction like iron combines with sulfur to form iron sulfide. Okay, here you see that two reactants are there, iron and sulfur, but product is only one, that is iron sulfide. So it is a direct combination reaction. In this case, decomposition reaction, you see copper carbonate breaks down to form copper oxide and carbon dioxide. So here also the reactant is one, but the products are two. So this is a decomposition reaction. So decomposition means breakdown. So here you can see simply that copper carbonate is breaking down into copper oxide and carbon dioxide. Next one is displacement reaction. It is also known as substitution reaction. In this, what happens? Let us see the definition. Reaction in which one element displaces another element from its compound. Yes. So what will happen? One element will displace the one element from the other substance. So A is displacing B and forming AC. You see earlier B was combining with C. So here you see what happens. A is one substance and BC is one substance. Now A will combine with, it will displace the B, it will remove the B, and it will combine with C and form AC. And now B will remain alone. So this type of reaction will be known as displacement reaction or substitution reaction. Example, you can see when zinc reacted with copper sulfate, here zinc ion zinc ion displaces what? It displaces the copper and form zinc sulfate. Okay, and what is remaining? Copper will remain alone. So it is a displacement reaction. Next we will see double decomposition reaction. So what is the definition is saying? The definition says that reaction in which both reactants the reaction in which both reactants are decomposed to give new compounds by exchanging their radicals are called as decomposition reaction. So in double decomposition reaction, so what happens here? Here you see Ag was there one and NO3 is one radical, and here K was one radical. So let us understand this. So when Ag NO3 combine with KCl, it forms, what happens? Here it forms Ag ion and nitrate ion, and here it forms K ion, potassium ion, and chloride ion. So now this silver ion will be combining with chlorine and potassium ion will be combining with, so these two will be combining with each other and these two will be combining with each other. Understood now? So here exchanging of radicals takes place and it forms what? It forms now AgCl plus KNO3. Understood now? So like this, it is, this reaction will be known as, is called as what? Double decomposition reaction. Why? Because both are decomposing, both are breaking. So it is called double decomposition reaction. So here what happens? Exchanging of radicals takes place. Now we'll see some more example of direct combination reaction, which is also known as synthesis reaction. Okay. So remember that in a direct combination reaction, two substances combine to form a new substance or form a product. So how direct combination reaction can be of three types. First, where two elements combine to form a compound. So two elements will combine to form a compound. Second type, what happens? One compound and one element will combine to form a new compound. And the third type, where two compounds will combine to form a new compound. Okay, let us take some example. Here is the example given of element plus element compound. Here you see sodium combined with oxygen to form sodium oxide. Okay, so let us see how to write the reactions. Understand? Okay, suppose when sodium react with oxygen, then how we can write? Here you see sodium ion is what? Sodium ion is Na plus 1 and oxide is O2 minus. So if they will crisscross, then what will happen? So here we will learn how to write the product. How to write the product. So we know that Na plus 1 and O2 minus. So if they will crisscross, then it will become what? Na2 O1. O1 we don't write. So what is the product here? We'll write here Na2O. We'll write here Na2O. Don't think that Na plus O2 will become NaO2. No, it will not become NaO2. It will become, you have to do by crisscross method. Then only you can find the product. Now we'll balance. Here you see 2 sodium. So we'll write here 2 sodium. Oxygen is 2, but here oxygen is 1. So we'll write here 2. So now 2 into 2, 4 sodium. So we'll write here 4 sodium. Now it is balanced. Understood, students, how to do this? Next, if we see calcium, suppose calcium plus oxygen. Here what will happen? It will, now calcium is 2 plus ion, we know that, and oxygen is 2 minus. So if we do crisscross, what we will get? We will get Ca2 and O2. Now 2 will get cancelled. So it will become Ca1, O1. And 1 we don't write, so we will write CaO. So now the calcium oxide is nothing but CaO. Is it clear now? Why it has become CaO? You might be thinking Ca plus O2, so CaO2. No, it's not like that. You have to do by crisscross method only. Now we'll balance this. Here you see calcium 1, here calcium 1, okay. But oxygen 2, here oxygen is 1. So what we will do? We'll keep here 1, 2. So now oxygen is 2, but now calcium is 2, here calcium is 1. So we'll write here 1, 2. So like this, we have to write the products. You have to practice the reactions. How you can practice the reactions? You write the reactant site in your copy by seeing the book, and You practice the product side on your own without seeing the book. You practice and then check from the textbook. If it is wrong, practice again. In this way, you have to practice the reaction. Remember, chemistry subject is less about learning and more about practicing. So practice, practice, and practice. That is the secret of chemistry. Okay. Next, suppose carbon dioxide. So C plus O2. You might be thinking C plus O2. So CO2. No. Carbon valence is what? 4 minus. And oxygen is also 2 minus. So now, if we cancel it, so it will become C4, C2, and O4. Now both will cancel by 2. So C1 and O2. 1 you don't write. So now that is why it has become CO2. So you don't think that it is becoming directly CO2. Why it is getting CO2? Due to crisscross only. So every time you have to write the product name by crisscross only. Now let us see it is balanced or not. See carbon 1, carbon 1, oxygen 2, oxygen 2. Very good. Understood now? Yes or no? Similarly, sulfur plus oxygen, you will get SO2. Phosphorus plus oxygen will get phosphopentoxide. Pentoxide means 5 oxide is there. So these are the example of non-metal. When they combine with oxygen, they form compound. Metal when combine with oxygen, they form metallic oxide. So remember that when metal combine with oxygen, then it forms what? Metallic oxide. Okay, metal plus oxygen will give metallic oxide, and non-metal plus oxygen will give non-metallic oxide. Okay, remember that metallic oxides are basic in nature. Yes, metallic oxides are basic in nature, but non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Yes, they are acidic nature. Which one? Non-metallic oxide. Next, we'll see that example of compound combining with element. So here you see carbon monoxide. CO is carbon monoxide combining with oxygen and forming carbon dioxide. Sulfur dioxide combining with oxygen forming sulfur trioxide. Now we'll see the example of compound plus compound. Here sodium. So when metallic oxide react with water, it forms a base, that is alkali. Base is also known as alkali. So sodium oxide when combined with water, it forms sodium hydroxide, which is the base. Calcium oxide when combined with water, it forms calcium hydroxide. So let us see how these reactions are occurring. Suppose Na2O combining with water, then what happens? This Na will break into Na plus ion, Na1 plus. It will break into Na1 plus, and oxide will break into O2 minus. Yes or no? Or we can understand in this way also, that sodium will break and here O will break, and here H2O will break into OH and H. OH and H. Okay, so now here Na will break into Na plus 1 and O2 minus oxide ion. Okay, and OH will break into OH minus, and this will be 1 plus hydrogen ion. So now this will sodium will combine with whom? Sodium will combine with the hydroxide radical. Sodium will combine with hydroxide radical, and the remaining hydrogen will combine with whom? It will combine with oxide. So it is forming what? It is forming NaOH. Now you see Na1 plus and OH1 minus. So if you do crisscross, 1 will get cancelled. So NaOH and HO2 minus and H plus. So crisscross means 2 will go to H and 1 will get 1. So it will form H2O. Clear, students? How to make the products? So you have to practice all these things. Without practicing, you cannot do. Next, let us see the example of calcium oxide. So when calcium oxide combine with water, then what happens? Calcium oxide will form Ca2 plus and oxide will become O2 minus. And here hydrogen will become H plus and OH minus. Okay. So, okay. So students, everyone mute your mic, please. so that I can teach properly. Everyone mute your mic. And Swarhil, you are having some doubt. Ask me. What is your doubt, Swarhil? So I am recording the video of this class. You can watch the video. I will send the video in the group. You can watch the video and you can once again you can understand whatever I'm explaining. So now let me continue. So calcium will break into Ca2 plus and oxygen will break into 2O2 minus oxide. Remember, if you don't know the valency chart, you cannot do all these things. So you have to remember the valency chart. Without valency chart, you cannot touch even chemistry paper. Okay? So every day you write the valency chart, practice it. And here hydrogen will become H plus, water will break into H plus and OH minus. Now we have to understand that this calcium will break and combine with OH minus. Okay, calcium will combine with OH minus and these two will combine and form H2O. Sorry. So now it will become what? Just a minute, students. So here it will become NaOH only. And okay, yes. So here you see this O and this H will also combine and form OH. So 2 OH will be there and 2 Na is there. So they both will combine and form 2 NaOH. So when we balance this, then we will understand. And here also calcium and OH will become CaOH whole 2. Okay, now we'll balance this. Let us balance this now. So if you balance this here, you see 1 calcium, 1 calcium, 2 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, but oxygen is 2, here also oxygen is 2, so it is balanced. But in this case, sodium 2, sodium 1, so we'll keep here 2 sodium. Then 2 oxygen, 2 oxygen, 2 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, so it is balanced. In this way, you have to practice the reactions. Okay. Next, when non-metallic oxide combine with water, react with water, it forms acid. How? You see carbon dioxide when combined with water, it forms H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. Sulfur dioxide when combined with water, it forms sulfurous acid. When phosphopentoxide combined with water, it forms phosphoric acid. Understood, students? So like this, you have to practice the reaction. These reactions are very important. Next, we will see the examples of decomposition reaction. So decomposition reactions can also be of 3 types. So first one, if a compound breaks into two elements, then it is one case. Second case, a compound can breaks into a new compound and an element. And third case, a compound can breaks into 2 other compounds. So all these are the cases of decomposition reaction. Now let us see some type of decomposition reaction. So first type of decomposition reaction is thermal decomposition reaction. Now what is this thermal? So remember the thermal word means heat and decomposition means what? Breakdown. So whenever any substances breaks down due to heat or whenever a decomposition reaction causes due to heat, then it is called thermal decomposition reaction. Definition: a decomposition reaction which is brought about by heat, it is called thermal decomposition reaction. Let us take an example. So metallic oxide, what is metallic oxide? When metal combine with oxygen, we called it as metallic oxide. So when a metallic oxide is heated, it breaks into that metal and oxygen gas. So let us take some example. So this is mercury oxide. When mercury oxide is heated, it breaks into mercury and oxygen. When silver oxide is heated, it breaks into silver and oxygen. Next example, we will see when a compound is heated, it forms a new compound plus element. So when potassium nitrate is heated, it forms potassium nitrite plus oxygen. When potassium chlorate is heated, it breaks into potassium chloride and oxygen. Next example, when a compound is heated, it breaks into 2 new different compounds. For example, when calcium carbonate is heated, it forms calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. When zinc hydroxide is heated, it breaks into zinc oxide plus water. Okay, so these are the example of thermal decomposition reaction. All these reactions you have to practice. Next, let us see thermal dissociation reaction. Now, what is a thermal dissociation reaction? It is a decomposition. It is also a type of decomposition reaction in which a substance dissociates into two or more simpler substances on application of heat. Okay, and thermal dissociation, unlike thermal decomposition, is a reversible reaction. So remember that decomposition reaction is a reversible, is thermal decomposition reaction is not a reversible reaction. That means irreversible reaction. But thermal dissociation reactions are reversible reaction. So remember that. What? That thermal decomposition reaction Okay, so thermal decomposition reaction is a what? It is a irreversible reaction. Irreversible means what, students? Which cannot be reversed back. Which cannot be reversed back. Okay, but thermal dissociation reaction is what? It is a reversible reaction. Reversible means we can again get back the original product. Irreversible means we cannot get back the original product, original substance. But thermal dissociation reaction, we can again get back the original substance. Okay, let us take some example of thermal dissociation. Here you see ammonium chloride. When heated, we get ammonia plus hydrogen chloride gas. But if this mixture is cooled, again we can get the ammonium chloride. So if we heat this, we will get this. If we cool this, again we will get this. So it is a thermal decomposition reaction. Next is electrolytic decomposition reaction. So what is the definition? A decomposition reaction which is brought about by passage of electric current. So if a decomposition reaction is done by passing electric current, then it is called as electrolytic decomposition reaction. Example, when we know that when you pass electric current through water, the water breaks into hydrogen gas and oxygen. So since here electric current is causing the decomposition of water, so this reaction will be known as a electrolytic decomposition reaction. Next is photochemical decomposition. Now photo means what? Photo means light. So let us see the definition. A decomposition reaction which occurs in the presence of light. So if a decomposition reaction takes place in the presence of light, then this reaction will be called as photochemical decomposition reaction. We can see an example. Example is decomposition of silver salts in presence of sunlight. So if we keep the silver salts in sunlight, it will break automatically. No need to do anything because those are photochemical decomposition reactions. Now we will see that what is a displacement reaction. So as we know that in displacement reaction, what happens? That one substance displaces the other. So why does it happen? Let us understand. So it happens because that an element placed higher in the activity series displaces the element placed below it. So that means if a higher, so there is a activity series, a series called as activity series. So this is called as activity series. And in this series, the element who is at higher, that is having more reactive, more active, and who is at lower position, they are less active. So if a more active substance comes, then it will displaces the less active substance. So for example, sodium is the most active and silver is the least active. Okay, now how to remember this activity series? Very simply we can remember. We can remember this technique that Kedar नाथ का माली आलू जरा फीका पका था। हाई कोर्ट है आपका। तो व्हाट इज द टेक्निक? केदारनाथ का माली आलू जरा फीका पका था, हाई कोर्ट है आपका। ओके, सो के मीन्स पोटेशियम, के मीन्स व्हाट? पोटेशियम। ना, नाथ केदारनाथ सोडियम, का कैल्शियम, माली मैग्नीशियम, आलू एल्यूमिनियम, जरा जिंक, पका ओके जरा फीका आयरन फी, पका था सो पीबी लीड, देन हाई कोर्ट है आपका, आफ्टर दैट हाई सो हाइड्रोजन, कोर्ट मीन्स कॉपर, है मरकरी हाइड्रोजिरम, आपका 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 मीन्स Ag Au Pt. So this is our reactivity series. You see, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold, and platinum. Understood how to remember the reactivity series? And when we go down in a reactivity series, it decreases. Reactivity decreases. So remember that the more reactive elements will displace the less reactive elements. See, if you in a class, suppose I am sitting in a chair, and suppose you are sitting in a chair, and if I come, you will give the chair to me or not? Because I am at higher position than you. Your teacher will be at higher position. Now suppose I am sitting and principal comes, then I will be giving my chair to principal because she is at higher position than me. Now suppose uh, any other higher authority people person come, suppose chief minister will come, our Naveen Patnaik will come, then our principal will give the chair or not? If prime minister will come, then our Naveen Patnaik will give the chair or not? So similarly, whenever a higher reactivity series metals comes, it displaces the less reactive element. So in this reaction you see zinc plus copper sulfate. Here what happens? You see in the reactivity series, zinc is higher than copper. Here is copper and here is zinc. So who is more reactive? Zinc is more reactive. So zinc displaces copper and combine with sulfate and form zinc sulfate, and copper remains alone. Understood? In this case you see copper plus potassium plus water. In this case here you see hydrogen ion is formed here. Okay, water breaks into H plus ion and OH minus ion. So, and K forms what? K forms K plus ion. So K plus ion is more active or hydrogen ion is more active. You see K and hydrogen. So hydrogen is so below and K is so at the top. So it is the most reactive element. So potassium displaces the hydrogen ion and combine with OH minus and form KOH, and H plus remains alone, so it combines with one more H plus, so H plus combine and form hydrogen gas. So due to this, displacement reaction occurs. Understood, students? Okay, so now we'll see double decomposition reaction. So what happens in double decomposition reaction? In which both reactants are decomposed to give two new compounds by exchanging their radicals. So two compounds exchange their radicals. That means A plus B combines with C plus D and forms AD plus CB. Clear? You see, suppose AB combines with CD, then it forms AC plus BD, means both will exchange their radicals. Let us see an example. Here you see NaOH combines with HCl. So Na breaks into Na plus and OH minus, and HCl breaks into H plus and Cl minus. So here Na plus and Cl minus combine to form NaCl, and H plus and OH minus combine to form water. So here both are exchanging their radicals. So it is called as a double decomposition reaction. But remember that double decomposition reaction can also be a neutralization reaction. Now, what is a neutralization reaction? So let us understand that. So it is a reaction between two compounds, between both base and acid. So when acid and base combine to give new compound salt and water by interchange of the radicals, then it is called neutralization reaction. So what is a neutralization reaction? I'm saying it once again. Whenever a acid combines with a base to form salt plus water, then this reaction is called as what? Neutralization reaction. Understood, students? Okay. Next example is precipitation reaction. So precipitation reaction, what happens? Reaction between two compounds in aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means water solution. State to give two new compounds, one of which is insoluble. So the product which will form is insoluble. Then it will be called as a precipitate. Whenever anything is formed which is insoluble, is called as precipitate. Example, when iron chloride combine with sodium hydroxide, it forms sodium chloride plus iron hydroxide. You see, hydroxide gone to iron, chloride came to sodium. And this iron hydroxide is reddish brownish in color and it is a precipitate. Whenever there will be precipitate, downward arrow mark is given. Next, zinc sulfate combine with ammonium hydroxide and form ammonium sulfate plus zinc hydroxide. Okay, so here it is gelatinous white color precipitate. When sodium chloride combine with silver nitrate, it forms sodium nitrate plus silver chloride, which is white precipitate. So students, that's all for today. You practice the reactions on your own. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. Okay, so no doubt is there. That's all for today. Tata, bye bye. I will send the video. You can watch the video. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.